It's a nice weekend. We're going to do a bunch of stuff and I'm going to bring you along. And it's going to be fun. We'll go shopping or see what the stores have in Easter things. Maybe make Easter bread. And we're going to get up to a lot of different things. So come on, andiamo, let's go. Let's have some fun. Okay, I've arrived at Michael's, and this is what their Easter section looks like. I see a lot of 50% off sales. We're about a week or so from Easter, about a week I would say. They have some nice baskets here, a lot of different molds, different types of eggs, and an egg garland that you can pick up here pretty cheaply if you haven't decorated as of yet. I like to start about a month before Easter decorating, but they have a lot of different things here. I saw these cute eggs and wasn't sure exactly what it is. I guess it's just a decoration with letters on it. You could spell out your name maybe, or the word Easter. A lot of different things you can do with that. But they still have a ton of different things. Look at these eggs. These are nice color speckled eggs that they have here in these baskets. 50% off for those. And I think that's about it. Okay, there are a few traditions that I like at Easter. One is Pizza Rustica, and I will link my video up above. I did one last year, so I'm not going to do another one. It's basically the same, but I'll link it up above, the eye in the sky. The second tradition that I like is Easter bread. I love Easter bread. I make it a week before, or maybe not a week, but a few days before Easter, so I have it to eat for breakfast for quite a while. Then the third thing that I like to make traditionally is roasted asparagus with my lamb. I love roasted asparagus, which I also have a recipe for that on my channel, which I will link up above. And then so it's roasted asparagus, pizza rustica, and Easter bread. So those are my three traditional things that I love to have every Easter. And this weekend, I am going to share with you. Tomorrow, I'm making Easter bread. So for you, it'll only be a few seconds, but it'll be tomorrow for me. And I am going to bring you along to my family special Italian Easter bread recipe. So just one more second and I'll show you how it's made. My first step is yeast and water. And we're gonna add the milk, melted butter and milk and all that. But let's get the yeast going. First, I have the yeast, 2 packets. There goes in the second packet of yeast. This is actually a super easy Easter bread recipe. So let's pour in the hot water and get the yeast going. Whisk, and let's get that hot water in. And we want to dissolve the yeast. That's dissolving the yeast. A stick of butter. Margarine, butter, whatever you prefer. So let's melt away. Well, the butter is melting nicely. It's a slow process. You don't want to burn the butter. We want to melt it. Then we're going to pour the milk in to warm the milk up before adding to the yeast mixture. Okay, so the butter is basically all melted. It's 3/4 of a cup of milk we're going to pour in there. And we're going to warm this up for a few moments. Now we have the butter milk mixture, which we're going to add to the yeast. And we're going to mix that around. Next step is to get 3/4 a teaspoon of salt So that's 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4. A cup of sugar. And we're gonna mix well with the sugar there. Get the sugar crystals all incorporated there. I take a separate bowl. I'm going to take my eggs, 2 eggs, and I'm going to beat them in a separate bowl before I incorporate them. I'm going to beat them up here with just a small whisk I have. I have many whisks. Like Kimberly Whisk, except my name isn't Kimberly, and who here watches Kimberly Whisk? And if you know who Kimberly Whisk is, you know it's the wads. So here's a plug for Kimberly Whisk. I love your videos, Kim. Keep doing what you're doing, and I like watching them. You're so funny. Well, let's get back to the Easter bread. Now that I have my eggs all mixed together, we're gonna incorporate them into the other ingredients. We're going to incorporate them, mixing well, and then my next step is only to add the flour. I need 5 cups of flour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out and get a bigger bowl so that the 5 cups of flour will fit in there. Who here watches Ina Garden? I do. And she always says when you're baking that you should make sure the flour, and I'm sure all the ingredients, are level. So I'm going to put 5 level cups. That's 1. And this is going to make a lot of Easter bread. You can freeze it if you so desire. There's only 2 of us, so I'm going to end up freezing some of it. There's number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And then my final cup of flour. And I'm gonna mix this all together. To use a wooden spoon, and I start in the center. Let me show you how I do this here. See, I start in the center. Oh, that's not a good shot. Let's try a better shot. Let's try a better shot there. Maybe if I put it back. I start in the center, and then I move to incorporate the outside of the flour. So we want to incorporate all this flour. And then we're going to let it rise. Probably going to take about an hour to 2 hours to rise. So let me incorporate that all together and I'll come back. So as you can see, I've mixed it, but I haven't over mixed it. So we're going to take, I take a clean kitchen towel and I just cover it and just gonna place it back there. It's a warm area back there on top of my toaster. Nobody's gonna mess with it, and for about an hour or so. And I'll bring you back when it rises. Now I'm gonna go do some computer work that I need to do as I work from home. And as you've seen in my previous videos, I do sell used clothing online. So I got some work and some orders to pack. So I'm gonna go do that while my bread rises. And then I will come back and show you in 3 seconds your time, my time's a couple hours after the bread rises. Time to punch it down. And we're going to divide this into 3 equal parts to make a braid. 3 parts we need. That's 1 part. So 3 parts. Let's make 3 braids. 1 braid. Now let's do the 2nd and the 3rd. This is my long braid. I'm going to put it on a greased cookie sheet and bake it in the oven. So first thing is to get it on the cookie sheet. My Easter bread is all ready. Sometimes people put sprinkles, like colored sprinkles on top, or you can even nestle hard-boiled eggs in between here if you like. Or you can braid it thinner braids and make a circle. But this is what I prefer. Thanks for coming along to this mini vlog. There are 2 videos up above here. I just want you to check them out. Great Easter recipes. And until next time, ciao amici.